G'day and welcome to A Down Under Yarn, or should I say good evening. Today is Sunday the 7th of April 2013. This is episode number 15. 15th time we've been yarning together. I'd like to welcome those people who are coming back to visit us again, and also a special welcome to those people checking me out for the first time. I am Fiona, also known as Fifykins, and this podcast is coming to you from Cairns in tropical North Queensland. The whole of the east coast of Australia is back on the same time zone, which makes life a bit easier for us up here. A lot of radio and TV gets delayed by an hour in summer because we don't have daylight saving. So it's always good, especially when I've got family down south, to know that, yes, I'm not ringing you an hour later. Hey, if you are watching down south and you forgot to switch your clocks, you're probably far too late and you turned up for work early. You can get your extra hours sleep. I have Ninja, the dog, just down here. That's why my shoulder's moving, because I'm patting her. She's getting quite needy this evening, just as I pressed record. Which is, hey, it is what it is. I would like to say thank you to those people who've left iTunes reviews. It's really lovely to see that people think of doing that, and I encourage you to go and leave iTunes reviews, either star reviews or a written comment for all your favourite podcasts and podcasters, just so that we can get found amongst those who start searching for podcasts. The week that was. Well, it was busy because my mum was here for a few days. She didn't actually stay with us, she stayed in town. That was interesting. It's always good for her to come up, and she loves spoiling the grandkids, which is really lovely. We went out for dinner, which was quite pleasant. And I gave her her birthday socks, which I think she was a bit confused at first. When I told her that she was able to throw them in the washing machine, she seemed quite excited then. I think a lot of non-knitters don't know the time that goes into a lot of knitted items. At one stage she suggested I start selling some of my knitwear, some of my knitting, and I said that, I don't think I'd be able to charge anywhere near what honestly it would be worth, and she didn't have a lot of idea about what it would be worth. But then again, her idea of yarn is $2 balls of acrylic from Big W or Woolworths or Spotlight or wherever they are. So it's really hard. It's hard when people don't understand and aren't crafty themselves. But hey, I'm glad I was able to make her the socks. Of course, the other big thing, the reason she was up was getting ready for Imogen to fly out to Japan. So Imogen flew out on Friday. I managed to hold it together most of the time at the airport. Wednesday night I had a huge sobbing session. I just lost it, totally lost it. She was leaving and I was upset, and we were able to get things ready. One of the reasons Mum came up was to take her shopping, to get her the last minute things that she needed and things that she didn't know she needed. It's really hard when she's been living in the tropics since she was 5 years old. She moved up a month before her 5th birthday. She doesn't remember what it's like to change seasons, and she's going to Japan right in the midst of a season change. It's just ending winter, going into spring. So she didn't have a lot of winter woolen clothes. She had a couple of hoodies that she'd had for going down south, and I think one long sleeve t-shirt. The rest she didn't like, so she chose not to wear them. And it's difficult to explain to her what it's like when her experiences are a Melbourne winter for a week or two max. Friday morning she was dressed in short shorts, and I said, honey, when you land it's going to be about 9 degrees. And she goes, yeah, but I've got my jacket. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care if you've got your jacket. Ninja, that's enough. I said, it's okay for you to have your jacket, that's fine. However, it's still going to be cold and you're going to have cold legs. So she compromised and put on 3/4 jeans. Hey, it was a start. I actually spoke to her on the phone last night. Her host mother was quite surprised that I'd rung. And she kept saying, you're ringing from Cairns. And I'm saying, yes. I tried to say some stuff in Japanese, but I think it came out all wrong. I tried to say, my name is Fiona. May I please speak to Imogen? And she said, you are Imogen's mother. So yeah, it was kind of funny. And Imogen said it was pretty cold. For them, I don't think it's very cold because they've just got through winter and they're saying this is spring. She said she's catching the end of the cherry blossom. She's lucky she might catch a couple of trees that have still got some blossom on. She can take some photos, but she's missed the major display, but still, hey, she's there. She posted a photo on Instagram of some noodles she had for lunch today, and she was amazed. She said yesterday they walked out of the shops, and while some things were really expensive, like red meat and fruit, she said things like fish were just so cheap. So yeah, her diet will change, no doubt, a bit. Excuse me, the dog's just pulled out the cable for the computer. Excuse me. Ninja, stop it. Sorry. Animals and children. Anyway, so, yeah, Jasper's been a bit lost without her. And he's been just sort of moping around on his computer, watching YouTube videos, playing games, that sort of stuff, because of course he's on school holidays. So, yeah. I put in a couple of job applications, did one on Friday that required an online assessment. It has the multiple choice questions. If you're in this situation, what would you do? And it's really hard to know what sort of answers they were looking for. So in the end, I just thought, hey, I'm going to just do it truthfully, not this is what I think they're looking for. So I did that. Look, we'll wait and see what happens with that one, as I'm waiting to see with other ones. Yeah, it's quite challenging at the moment, but still, it is what it is. Administrativa, I think is what Memel decided I should call this segment. We are having our knit along, which is our knit a hug knit along, for those people for whom Mother's Day may not be the hallmark experience that I suppose society would like to think it is. So the idea is that until the end of April you knit a hug, so a shawl or a scarf or a cowl, that you will give to someone and say, hey, I'm thinking of you in the lead up to Mother's Day. I know it's going to be challenging, but I wanted you to know that I was thinking of you. So yeah, that is still going on, and there is the Many Rivers pattern as well, which is also in the show notes, that there is a discount code, which is a beautiful pattern that I encourage you to go and buy. I also have today to do the draw for the Knit Spin Farm bag and stitch markers. So I have the awesome bag, the Moo Cow bag, and the stitch markers. So you were asked to say which pattern you were going to put in the bag and then who you would like the stitch markers given to. So we had 21 posts. Now I was the first post. There are 2 posts in there from people who have said thank you basically for someone else nominating them for stitch markers, which is great. They're not multiple posts, so if I land on one, I'll make an executive decision then, because I'm still in 2 minds about what to do about that. So we are looking for random numbers between 2 and 21. There we are, you can see that there. I think that number's from the last time I drew. I locked the thread just before I ordered, and I am pressing generate, and it is number 6. Number 6 is Julie Patch, who I assume is Julie. And she said she would put her poor neglected Sunday cup of tea socks in the bag, and she'd like to give the stitch markers to the lovely Kerry M because she's just that lovely. So that is just beautiful. Now, Julie is in Australia, so Joanna, there is no need to worry, the bag is not going back across the Atlantic, which was one of her big concerns. I suppose it's just quite amusing that you think you post something from America to Australia and then it might end up going back there. So I will be in touch, Julie, and we can see where we go from there. So congratulations to Julie and to Kerry, and yeah, stay tuned for the prize drawings, I suppose. Okay, so this is going to be section 2 now of the podcast, because I recorded the first bit, which up to the end of the prize drawing, and I saw that it was out of sync. Then I got to the second bit, and it beach balled on me at the end, and I thought nothing of it, and paused it, and went on to the third bit. And then when I went on to the third bit, I thought that's fine. When I went to put them all together to edit them, I noticed the second bit was the one that was really, really laggy. Third bit was fine. The first bit was mostly okay. So I've decided I'm going to try and record these 8 or so minutes again. This could go really well, or it could go really poorly. Anyway, I believe what I was up to telling you was about the knitting. So finished objects. There are no finished objects. And the main reason for that is the disaster that befell me this week. On Wednesday, I had a hair appointment, and I thought I will take some knitting along, and then I thought I will take along my Age of Brass and Steam. So I had that packed up in my gorgeous Joanna Spring Elephant bag. I thought I'd put it in my handbag. I went out to breakfast with Mum and Jasper. When I got to the hairdresser, it wasn't in my handbag. Now, when I got out of the car and went across to breakfast, I checked later at the hotel and it wasn't there. There are a couple of shops across the road from the hotel, which I parked in the middle of the road. So I will go and ask there this week. I was really busy, of course, getting ready for Emmy to go on Thursday, Friday. So I will go in tomorrow and ask. Hasn't shown up at the hotel. I did call into the craft store, which is next to my hairdresser, but I didn't get anything out of my bag, but that doesn't mean that I didn't bump my bag and it fell out there. So I need to go and ask there as well. I'm really, really disappointed because it is my Knit a Hug project for the colleague whose baby died in utero last year, and she delivered the baby sleeping. So really disappointed in that. I'm hoping that it turns up, but I don't know if I'm holding out that much hope. Okay. Oh, that's okay. It's still going, it's still recording. I've got to look in a different part of the window. I'm just losing it. I'm losing it. I'm sorry. It's Sunday evening. It's now 8:49 and I obviously need some sleep. Anyway, I will go and investigate tomorrow and see if it has turned up. The other thing that I did do this week was I had a bout of castonitis. Yes, I was planning on finishing my Age of Brass and Steam, and I was hoping to show that off today, but I don't know where it is. It could be inside. If you saw inside my place at the moment, it could be easy to put something down and misplace it. I am planning on doing a bit of a cleaning spree this week to see if it turns up. So, first thing I cast on Monday was the Pagona shawl. I had planned on using the skein merino cashmere yarn that the dog decided was a toy. I had untangled most of it. I had untangled about half of it before it got the better of me on Sunday night. It was about 2 a.m. and then we just said, hey, stop. So I still will get back to that and untangle it at some stage. And I might even do another one of these because it's a really pretty pattern and a really nice one. I joined the Into the World Club in December last year. December was my first shipment, which was the Chula yarn in the wood colourway. Chula is a 2-ply yarn, which is 2 plies of superwash merino, 1 ply of merino, which gives a really barber pole effect. If I turn it that way, you can see there you are. So you've got 2 strands that pick up the dye differently to the single strand. It's a really pretty colourway. It's got pinks and purples and blues and sort of reds as well through it, and it's knitting up quite nicely. So this is the Pagona shawl by Stephen West. It uses 20 stitch markers, but the stitch markers really help and show you exactly where you're up to. Now, it's a great design, it's a great pattern. If it was by anyone other than Stephen West, I don't know if I would have paid the $6 because it's not that in-depth. No, I think it's probably the same as I don't mind paying for patterns, I really don't. the same with the Daybreak shawl that I did. Both of these patterns aren't totally in depth. So I love them both, don't get me wrong. I wonder. But then again, hey, I understand people have to make a living. And there's probably no way of determining pricing based on skill level and things like that. So you win some, you lose some. Not saying I don't like the pattern. I really love the pattern. It is a really good pattern. It is well written. Yeah, you can see it's got stockinette interspersed with reverse stockinette panels. So yeah, really nice, really enjoying it. Although it was getting a bit tedious come yesterday. I cast this on Monday, didn't get a lot of knitting on Tuesday, Wednesday especially because I couldn't find my knitting at the hairdresser. And then getting ready for Emmy to leave as well. So that's why that is like that. Now, it's probably one of my first variegated projects that I'm happy with. I had a bad experience with variegated yarn. If you look in my project page, you'll see early on there's a project there. I think it's called Where You'll Find Me, I called it. It's an infinity cowl. When Pinterest first started, I was an early adapter and joined early on. One of the first things that I saw pinned was this really pretty rainbow yarn. It was a natural coloured yarn that had rainbow splotches through it, and the way it was written up in the little swatch that was there, it looked really pretty. They said it was hand spun, hand dyed yarn on Etsy. However, I don't believe it was hand spun. It is a single ply, I suppose, of, I think it's wool. I can't even remember. I've still got a ball in there. I ended up buying 4 balls, and I think it was one for a friend, because 2 of us really liked it. 1 for her and 3 for me, or might have been 2 for her and 2 for me, whatever it was. Anyway, I ended up this cowl. It makes clown daft look appealing. It really is not good. I'm not sure what I could use it for. She used it for a pair of baby socks, which probably is good if you don't mind hand washing baby socks. It's probably a really good thing. It just wasn't right for that. The pulling, the effects it looks. I'll bring it out sometime because, yeah. So I am really pleased with this, and the way the yarn does go really nicely together. The colours do really go nicely together. And you can, if you look really closely, you can see some of the barber pole strands, especially in sort of that bit there. Comes through a little bit, but it's nowhere near overpowering or anything like that. So yeah, I'll get going on this again this week, I hope. I think this is where I left it before, where it beach balled on me. So then, this is just so choppy. I'm sorry. I'll try and do better next week. Okay. Okay, that seemed to pause there and beach ball on me again for a bit. My old computer. Just get by for a little while longer. I don't mind the variegated effect at all. This is a knit along with a whole heap of lovely people, and we've got lots of tags going in Twitter. So I yeah, need to get back to this. But doing the one project, I needed something else. I needed something else on the needles. So yesterday, I cast on my Stripe Study Shawl. Now, I ordered yarn last November, I think it was, in the Stockinette Zombies Marigold Gen. They did a pre-order for some yarn, and I got 1 ball each in the fingering weight of Amy's Punky Plum, and Apple of Megan's Eye. The Punky Plum is really a grey colour with shots of vibrant pinky purple through it, and the green is just gorgeous with sort of, has the occasional, it's a really complex green. It's really, really beautiful. Occasional pops of lime interspersed with, you know, all these different things. It is, I have the Marigold Gem card here. Sock weight, 75% Blue Face Leicester, 25% nylon, 464 yards per 100 grams. It's superwash. So, the shawl, it's hiding under all this stuff here that I've got piled up, is here. I have, this is a Stripe Study Shawl, which is a Vera Valmaki pattern. It ends up being an asymmetrical shawl. Just before I sat down to record, I actually went and grabbed my jacket and put that on because it was cold. Now the wind's died down, it's not as cold, so I took the jacket off. But this is a sort of shawl that's perfect for this climate because I can just throw it around my shoulders at night. I am adoring the colours. Really loving the way it's working up. It's a quick pattern. Yeah, lots of fun. Yeah, 6 stripes in. You can see the short rows there. I think after this stripe you can finally see that it's different at one end to the other. It's getting a lot more prominent. I hope to get to the 12 stripes. If I only get to 11, so be it. I seem to have quite a bit of yarn left. Yeah, and garter stitch, which I forgot how nice it is and how squishy it is, so really pleased with that. Of course, I love purple and green, being the feminist that I am. They're two of my favourite colours, and especially together. I know some people don't like it and some people believe it's been done to death, and that's fine. But still, I'm really glad I can use them together in a shawl, and that is for the Stockinette Zombies Marigold Jen Knit Along. So that I've got until the end of this month, so I should definitely get that done. Then last night I had another bit of castanitis. I had an all-day rehearsal today for our review we're putting on next weekend, and I knew there'd be little bits of time where I'd be able to get some knitting in. Well, in the end there wasn't a lot at all, but there was enough time for me. I cast this on last night and did one row. I did my ribbing and some colourway repeats. There we go. It is a twisted ribbing, and I actually really enjoyed it because the needle was pointing the same way all the time. It was just putting it in the front of the back of the stitch, and it just made a lot more sense. I actually found that easier than normal 1x1 ribbing. So there you go. This is not going to be socks. This is going to be mitts, fingerless mitts. This is the, let me turn my page here. It is the Graffiti on the Metro. Now, I haven't mentioned, I should have mentioned in my other two projects, my Pagona is using 4mm needles, and that they are the Knit Pro Harmonies, the multicoloured wooden ones. The Stripe Study Shawl is using 4mm, and I'm using my 80 long lace because I couldn't find my 4mm Knit Pro Novas. And Graffiti on the Metro uses 3.25mm, and these are the only signature needles I own. So I'm using these. They are just beautiful, it really is. Of course, it's gorgeous yarn as well. It's Heather from Highland Handmaids, her striped maple sock in the Villainous colourway, and this is part of the Princess Bride colourways. It has, I've got the colours here, I just love it. The gold is, Are You Still Trying to Win? The red is, I Knew He Was Bluffing. The charcoal is, Someone Was Looking for You. And the purple is, I Always Think Everything's a Trap. So it's the Villainous colourway. Really love it. Love the way it's knitting up. It is a free pattern, the Graffiti on the Metro pattern. I cut on 60 stitches, which is more than was recommended. They had, I think, 7 stitches to the inch and 48 stitches being cast on. I've got a chunky wrist. It's meant to be a slouchy knit. There's no way that 48 stitches is going to be slouchy on me. With the 60 stitches, I tried it on before. You can see there, it's a really nice fit. It's going to be nice and cozy. Probably not as slouchy as in some of the photos, but it might be once I get further up. I'm not going to change needle sizes like it suggests. And yeah, so there we go. That is my Graffiti on the Metro. I wanted them to do something simple. I'll probably take them along. I've got to go to the dentist this week, so I'll probably take them along for that. And these are for our trip to South Africa, because I will need some mitts, I think, then. Also, nights like tonight, I can probably sit out here with mitts on and a shawl, and that'd be really quite pleasant. Because, I mean, it's a really chilly 24 degrees at the moment. You know, I know. I'm sorry. Yeah. Now, acquisitions. I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago when I missed out on a job that I really, really wanted. I went on a bit of a splurge, and it was really foolish of me, but I did it anyway and ordered some yarn. Well, some of it arrived this week. including my lovelies. Now, first lovelies, you can tell from the bag, yes, it's Woolmeyes. Didn't come with any wool wash or lollies, but anyway, I never actually got Woolmeyes lollies, I always got it with wool wash. So, I got an update during a VKN one afternoon for me, one evening, night for people overseas. I got an update where they had some lace weight that wasn't a wear different, and I got it. So here we go. Oh, isn't it just the most perfect blue? It's sort of, you know, almost Fifi's eye colour blue, although you can't really tell at this time of night. This is the Woolmeyes lace yarn in the Lapis Lazuli colourway. I just adore it. It's meant to be 300 grams. It's got written on here 323 grams. I actually suspect that if I weigh this, it'll weigh a bit more. Wouldn't you believe I've got my scales next to me, because with the mitts, I should go back to my mitts. I get anal about my striping, and I don't know why, because I think graffiti on the Metro wouldn't matter if the stripes were off, but to me it would. So I divided the skein in half. I wound the skein into a ball, then put the ball on my scales, then tried to wind half of that again. And I thought I'll have to pull one from the inside and one from the outside, because that then will have them going the same way. And found, of course, that I couldn't wind it from sitting on the scales because it just flew everywhere, and tried a whole lot of different things, ended up putting it on the end of a knitting needle, I think, and it wound quite nicely. But it was really loose, the ball that I'd wound. And then I thought, what I should do is just rewind this again, because then I'll rewind this and they'll all be going the same way, and I can just pull from the outside. So I did that, and almost got in a huge tangled mess because of the way I was doing things. Sorry, here I've got this. I've got my scales here. That's a long way of saying I've got my scales here. Not that I can tell. Yeah, it says 335 grams. So it's a big skein. Yeah, so then I rewound it, and it's all been fine. So put it around my neck because it's just so lovely. It's like a big cowl. Woolmeyes cowl. Oh, it's squishy and nice. I've never seen Woolmeyes lace before. It smells beautiful. It really is gorgeous. Then somewhere around here, there we go. I have a few projects in mind. I'm thinking the new Martina Bem pattern, not the Novum. There's the Novum, which is one that I wouldn't mind doing at some stage, but the new one, Viagente, I think it is. That looks really interesting, and I'm thinking that may be a good project for me to take away with me. I've heard conflicting things about international flights from Australia and knitting. Some people say you can, some people say you can't. The Qantas website says that the Australian regulations now say that knitting is permitted on flights. It doesn't say anything about international or domestic. So I will see. I definitely won't have my signature needles with me in my hand luggage, because if they got taken away, although the other thing that has been suggested to me is that one of your carry bags is a bag that can be checked if need be. So I might try that. I don't know. Yeah. I'd hate to think I was on a 12 or 13 hour flight and didn't have any knitting with me. I think that would be a bit of a waste. So there's that that arrived. The other thing that arrived, I had my latest club shipment from Into the World. And this is the final shipment in the Inspired by Artwork colourways. It is on the Gloucester base, which is 2-ply 80/20 superwash merino nylon, and it is the Trocadero colour. No, sorry, Tuscadero colour. And the Tuscadero colour comes from Pinky Tuscadero from Happy Days, who was one of Fonzie's girlfriends. It's inspired by Degas painting of ballerinas. It's really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. I really like it. And it is probably going to become some socks for me. Again, variegated socks. Yeah. So looking forward to knitting those up. Finally, after I finished the socks for my mother and thought about possibly knitting some socks for Mimel's dad, I thought I actually got no sock yarn that's suitable for men. Excuse me. It's me leaning everywhere. I should get more organised. And I ordered some more soft like kittens because it really is awesome stuff. I got a skein of the noodle sock and a skein of the double helix socks. Now, both of these are prototype yarns. One is number 129, that's 129, that's 128. So they are one after another, and they are very similar shadings. This one has more black in it, sort of has black and blue and some purple in it, and some greys. This one is more bluey purpley, a lighter blue. Both of them are really nice. This would make some very feminine, I think more feminine socks, more female socks. This is probably more masculine. And if I was going to knit socks for him, I'd probably use this one. So, I haven't committed myself to that yet, though. The double helix sock is 400 yards, which is the lighter colour. The darker colour is the noodle sock, and that is 463 yards. So again, yeah. So that is my acquisitions. Yeah, this week I have next weekend, next Saturday night and Sunday night, especially if you're in Cairns, come along to Red Pavilion's performance of Grow a Pair, which is our review. It is looking at women's issues, contemporary women's issues, historical women's issues. It's equal parts humour and, I suppose, tear-provoking. There are parts in it that I still, even though I'm not necessarily doing the piece, I still really choke up. There's one piece in particular which looks at grief, and it looks at a mother's grief. Last year we put on the Vagina Monologues by Eve Ensler, and I was part of that. And this year we are looking, it's got three stanzas. The first stanza is the period, which looks at growing up, and it looks at some of the ways that teenage girls especially see each other, view themselves, investigates cutting. There's a really strong piece in there about cutting, ideas about beauty, things like that. The second stanza is, I think, called Sex and Other Associated Perils, which looks at relationships. It looks at a woman being able to choose what to do, what she wants with her body. Because I think that's where I stand on women's issues. I believe that I don't think that anyone else should be able to legislate on what a woman does with her body. It's up to her, and the only thing we can do is be supportive of people who find themselves in situations where they have to choose, for instance, termination of pregnancy. I've had a few very close friends who've been through that, and it's been agonising decisions. It's not the easy way out that some politicians say it is. It's really, really tough. And I believe that is something for a woman to be able to make that decision herself, in consultation with her doctor and with other family members or her partner. But it's not something that should be legislated, and I don't believe that abortion should be in the criminal code as it is here in Queensland. I don't know if I could ever be able to have an abortion, especially what I went through with fertility treatment. And I'd like to think that I'd educated my children enough to say, whatever you choose to do in life, I will support you in your decision, but I'd like you to be informed about any decision you have to make. So we've had lots and lots of in-depth talks. I had an in-depth talk with Jasper a couple of weeks ago about abortion. And sorry, it's probably not the thing I should talk about in a knitting podcast. And anyway. It's just how it is. And yeah, so we're looking at that. We're also, the third period is Grow a Pair, which is our theme for the evening. And it's very humorous, and that's where I actually do most of my pieces. I get to look at the big pens for her, a la Ellen DeGeneres, and I get to look at a couple of other things as well, which is a lot of fun. And if they get recorded and put up on YouTube, I'll make sure I share the links. Yeah, and we raise money for the local women's shelter. It's entry by banknote, and all proceeds go to the women's shelter. There's a raffle on the night. So yeah, lots of fun. JCU Boathouse if you're out that way. Friday night, Saturday night. I think bar opens at 6, performance starts at 6:30 or 5. Oh, I can't even remember. I just know I've got to be there at 4, so I'm really sorry. It's up on Facebook if you want to know. Get in touch if you want further details. Yeah, so that's that. It's the final week of school holidays this week. Jasper and I get to spend the week together. There's of course Mimmels at work. He's actually been working today. He should finish sometime soon. He has a 12-hour shift today. So, yeah. And I know Jasper wants to go and do some Warhammer. So he can do that later in the week, which will give me some time to myself, which will be nice. Yeah, I hope to sort of keep in touch with Amy via Facebook, although she gets a bit antsy that I'm stalking her. But still, she starts school tomorrow in Japan, which is very exciting. The only thing she forgot to pack was her school blazer. So I have to post it, and I'll post it tomorrow. Yeah, it'll get there when it gets there. Dentist on Tuesday with Jasper. I have to have my teeth cleaned again, and apparently I've got a tiny cavity at the back they're going to look at and see if they have to do it. I go to the dental school, so I have students doing my teeth. I actually quite enjoy that because I feel they're more gentle. They take their time. It is a long process. There we are. There's my phone. And that's Mimmel, just got back. He's pooped. So I will respond to him. Just recording. There we go. Okay. And yeah. So I'll put it at Tuesday, and then I'm also planning on doing a bit of a cleaning marathon this week. I've decided I'm going to get up in the mornings and try and do at least half a room a day, and then see where we go from there. See if I need to get a skip in to get rid of a whole lot of junk, because I know I've got a lot of junk, or what can fit in rubbish bins and things like that. Apart from that, I think that's about it. It is a later one today. The sun has gone down. It's 8:30 p.m. And yeah, next week, at Sunday I'll be able to record. We've got our first performance Saturday night. Then Sunday I think we're having most of the day off. I don't have to be there till 4, so I hope to be able to record Sunday morning and share some things with you then. Have a yarn with you, which is lots of fun. As always, you can check out our Ravelry board, which is a Down Under Yarn. And please sign up there. I think we've got 150 members of the group now, which really is exciting. It's great to see people joining, people having conversations. And what else? I think that is about it. So until next week, I will say hooroo and cheers. Bye.